Judy was about 6 weeks old when we moved to South Mississippi.
Yeah, about 6 weeks old.
She wasn't very old. She's just a baby.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she was a tiny baby.
Yeah, we moved
We
to-
went to a funeral up there, and Catherine went with us. She was about 6 or 7 years old, I reckon. And so we had to stay at a motel there in Grenada, Holiday Inn. Catherine said, Mommy, I'm sure glad Papa moved you away from here before I was born.
She didn't like it up there, huh?
No.
I tell you, I'm not too fond of it up there myself.
I don't like it. It's too windy.
Oh, you poor are just like Copperville. It's just falling apart.
Uh-huh.
The buildings down there are just falling down, absolutely deteriorating, falling down.
Yeah.
They are.
We went up there last summer, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Went up there to a Schaefer reunion. And I got there in Newport and I absolutely got lost.
Oh, really?
They had changed the highways and everything so I asked a lady, I said, lady, which way I go to get out of here, get to the what was it?
Woodman of the world.
Woodman of the world. She said, well, you go right back down that traffic light and take a left. Take you right out there. I said, Jesus Christ. And I finally found out who she was. She was a Bowen. She's married to a Bowen. She said Roy Bowen was her father-in-law. And I wouldn't say no more to her because I knew the Bowens and the Rays didn't get along too well at all.
One of the Ray girls married the Bowen boy.
And they, Ray girl married a Bowen boy, and they divorced, separated. And she had a baby by another man. All this kind of stuff and the others.
Now, let's see here. Ann had two boys,
Mm-hmm.
Eric and Scott.
Eric and Scott.
Now, tell me something about Scott. What's something y'all remember about Scott?
Well, Scott was born, let's see what, his birthday is,
I don't remember.
I'll have to get my book. We got so many in August.
Uh-huh. I remember his is August.
Yeah.
It's not the 15th. Is it the 13th?
Mm-mm.
Rogers is 13.
Rogers 13th.
No.
Rogers is the
13th of
13th of October.
Mine's 8th of October, and Rogers is 13th of October, and Justin's is what?
The 3rd.
Third.
Justin's the 3rd. Todd's the 29th.
Mm-hmm. Scott was born the 23rd
Of August?
23rd of August in 1958.
Well, tell me a funny story about Scott.
Oh, I don't know anything about Scott. Well, when he was little, he'd come to our house and stay,
Yeah.
and then he'd go down to Bill's sister's, Alameda. He called out Maymay, and every time we'd come from Natchez, he'd say, Maymay lives there, Maymay lives there. And the day that Ann and Roger finished, up at Mississippi College, well, I was in the hospital, and Scott stayed with Alameda. And she put him a table out there and some cornmeal, and he sat there and made like he was cooking.
And when was Eric born?
Eric was born here in Brookhaven. He was born the 10th day of June in 1962.
Yeah.
He's born at Brookhaven Hospital there.
Now Eric spent a lot of time at y'all's house in Monticello, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. See, they lived right in front of us,
Uh-huh.
and
Well, when we lived downtown there, Eric come over and stayed with us a little bit one
yeah,
time.
they stayed over there.
And that's back when we lived over in Adams County, and they lived in Brookhaven.
Yes.
Eric was over there one time, and he went to bed with me one night. And Inez had a cowlick or something upon his head up here. And Inez said, I want you to look at that place on Eric's head up there. Eric said, don't mess with my head.
Well, Roger's got a place just like it too.
Yeah.
He said, don't be messing with my head.
We started home with Scott. He'd been over there about a week, and we was fixing to bring him home. And we got out to the highway, and he said, y'all don't have to take me home if you don't want to.
He didn't want to go home, huh?
No.
Well, Judy had a daughter, Catherine.
Catherine.
And when was Catherine born? Do you remember?
She was born in Macomb, the hospital in Macomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, she remembers. I guarantee she got it.
Yeah. She's she was born in
She was born in
1973.
73, yeah.
Yeah, 1973.
Well, tell me a funny story about Catherine. She grew up with y'all pretty much.
The only thing I remember about it, she and Todd would jump up on the bed, and I told them if I caught them jumping on that bed again, I was going to paddle them. Well, I came down the hallway, going to my bathroom, and there's just folks fixing to get on the bed, and I hollered at them. And I told them I was going to get my paddle. I had a paddle with their name on it, and Scott's name, and Eric's name, all little ball paddle thing. And I told him I was going to get my paddle. So when I went down the hallway, Catherine said, come on here, Jesus, and take her away from here. Come on, get her and take her away from here.
She is praying to Jesus, huh?
I had to get behind the door to keep from laughing. But how come to say that? She had been staying over at Miss Benson's. It was a babysitter. And Miss Benson's father died. So Catherine told me one day, she said, Mama, said, Papa died. That was Miss Benson's daddy. Said, now Papa died, and said, Mama was out there just crying her eyes out. And said, now I know you're going to die. Said, you're getting old and you're going to die. But said, don't you worry about it now. But said, now Papa has gone to live with Jesus. And I said, yeah, that's fine. So then she got mad at me and she said, come on, Jesus, and take her away from me.
She didn't want you coming in that room.
Uh-huh.
She didn't want you seeing her jumping on that bed.
No, she didn't jump on that bed anymore.
She's going to school. She'd get off the school bus down there to the house every day and come up and stay with us till Judy come get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the same thing. They got off the school bus every day, then head to the house. And here's to fix them something to eat, cookies or something. They got out there in the shop to sleep with me till they had to go home.
Yeah. Well, Sue had 3 boys, and
Yeah. Yeah,
Todd, Ben, and Justin. I'm Ben.
Yeah, Todd was born in Metairie, Louisiana, in the hospital in
Uh-huh.
Louisiana.
Well, tell me a story you remember about Todd.
Oh, nothing, I don't know about that. Jumping on the bed. Mike was working in overseas, and the company that he's working for, they told him if he'd stayed 2 weeks longer or something, that they'd fly Sue over. So Sue went over, and we went and got you and Todd.
Yeah.
And Justin was little too.
No, I don't think Justin was born.
No, Justin wasn't born.
Yeah, I was just born.
Yeah, you were just a little bitty thing. My daddy died the 7th of
What was that? What was they live? Was it Morera or
yeah,
across the river there? What was that?
Metairie?
Metairie.
Huh?
Metairie.
Metairie. Yeah.
My daddy.
I know you was playing outside the window there one day. You was outside and Todd was inside. And you got him to ain't bed.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Boy, them aints was all over your feet and legs, and I grabbed you up and carried you in there and put you in the sink and run cold water over your legs and washed the aints off of it. And yeah, boy, they're about to eat you up.
My daddy died the 7th of July in 1979, and you were born the 16th of June in 1979.
Yeah. He
was
died.
just a baby when
Yeah,
Papa
you were
passed
just a
away.
little bitty baby in the
Uh-huh.
bassinet, because Sue and Mike had you to wake that night, and Roger went over there and told Mike to take Sue home because there was just too much disturbance and too much racket and everything there for her.
Yeah.
So Mike had told her if she'd let her hair grow long, he'd get her some diamond earrings, and she did. And she was sitting there crying. She was always close to Mom and Daddy. And she was sitting there, and somehow or another she fiddled and took those earrings out and put them in a Kleenex tissue and stuck them down in the purse. And when she cleaned down the purse, she said she reckoned she threw them out. She never did see them anymore.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I didn't know that.
No, every year when Papa got his vacation, we'd go to Mother and Daddy's and stay that week or 2 weeks or whatever.
We stayed 3 or 4 days at a time.
Yeah,
Outside of Eupora?
no,
No,
Coffeyville.
In Coffeyville, okay.
Uh-huh.
Right out of Coffeyville.
What would y'all do up there for a week?
Oh, well, we always had something to do, maybe paper.
Well, we built a lean-to on the back of the house there one time for him, a truck shed.
Yeah,
And one time we went up there, I got a trailer, somewhere, somebody's trailer or something.
it was
Anyway.
yours.
Huh?
It was yours. You let
Anyway,
somebody
was-
bought it and never did pay you for it. Who was it? Oh,
I went up, anyway, I was working in Natchez. Gordy Whittington and me was working in an old store over there. And there was a lot of old lumber and stuff we had out there we throwed away and stuff. It was good stuff. And I take my trailer one over and picked it up. And we carried that stuff to Coffeyville up there to her daddy's. And we built Mama cabinets on one wall and backed on the other. And put her in a sink and everything. And it taken 3 or 4 days to do it.
that was after the house burned or before?
But that was after the house
After the
burned.
house
This
burned.
was in the new house.
Mhm.
This was built in the new.
And we
when,
papered.
I don't know when the old one in the old house I built some cabinets
Mm-hmm.
and it was just a short cabinet and put in a
Electric stove.
electric stove and wired it up and everything. And when the house burned, their neighbor come over there and drug that stove outside and taken a chopping axe and chopped the wire in two.
Oh, really?
Because the fire done knocked the current out.
Yeah.
And he chopped that cable in two and pulled it off that's where the heat wouldn't bother it. And he's trying to get a ship rope out the back of the house. And he got to ask an old man to help him pull that ship rope out. Then he had $150, $200 worth of clothes in, and back then clothes, that many clothes was a lot of money. And that old joker was trying to get a dang meter base off the side of the house out there. He said he wanted that meter base out, and the neighbor that was trying to get the ship rope out of the house, so they'll give you one over at town if you just go ask them for it. You don't have to tear that one off to get one. Just help me get this ship rope out of here. And he wouldn't do it. He wanted to get that meter base off of that house. And of course the man had this, he had to just turn it loose and let it go because the heat was getting,
Yeah.
and the ship rope and clothes and all burned up.
Huh.
That old bastard could have helped him get the
Get the clothes
out
out.
of there. He could help him get the ship rope out of there, but he wouldn't do it. He wanted that meter base. And they gave him one over at the fire company. I don't know. He was just a contrary old man, is all I can say.
But nobody got hurt in that fire, did they?
Mm-mm. No, Mother was.
Didn't nobody get hurt.
Mother had 2 black women there. One was washing, and the other one was cooking, fixing dinner. Daddy had a bunch of hands. It was a Thanksgiving in 1952, and Daddy had a bunch of hands out in the fields, and they was gonna finish up working that day. Well, Mother
They
was in
picking
the,
cotton.
huh?
They were picking cotton.
Yeah, picking cotton, pulling corn. Mother was in the bed, she was sick, and she got up and went in the living room and called her sister and was talking to her, and she told her sister, said, I smell smoke, I'm going back to bed. Well, she went back and got into bed, and the colored women, they smelled the smoke, so they went in there. Mother pulled a cover up around her, and they went in there and put her in a rocking chair and pulled her out in the backyard, and that's the only thing that saved her. And Daddy had pulled off all his good clothes, and the black woman was washing them and everything. And
He had went to town and got the money to pay the hands.
yeah, on the day before
The
Thanksgiving,
money burned up.
he gone to the bank and drew out enough money to pay all the hands and put it on the dresser in the room there where Mother was sick.
Yeah.
And all the money and everything burned up, all the clothes, everything. And Mother's jewelry all burned up. And
That was one Thanksgiving, wasn't it?
yeah, it was Thanksgiving 1952.
A.B. and Donald was
Mhm.
down at our house. They had come to visit us and Thanksgiving with us. And they called and told us about it. And we all got in the cars and taking our stuff, what we could with us, pulled out to Coffeyville. And out there. Of course, we had to go to A.B. and them and spend the night. And Mama and Papa were down at the neighbor's house. They was down there with them. But it was a
They
sad situation.
they moved in the house. I mean, they moved out. Miss Jessica and Mr. Vance is our next door neighbor, just down the hill from us. It was
Yeah.
just like family, and they lived there with them till out the last of February, so they could get the house rebuilt. They were built back.
Had to furnish it out. No,
Yeah.
that electric stove was the only thing that was safe.
So how'd the fire start?
Oh, Daddy had put some. They had a big warm morning heater in the room where Mother was, and so he had put some chunks and fire and thing in there. And the house was old. It was a log house, and they had gone there and sealed it inside and out and everything, and new paneling. And Mother had a first cousin and his wife that did paper hanging in Memphis, so they came down and papered all the house and stayed a couple of weeks with them. And somehow or another, there was a brick chimney going up through a flue chimney where they had the heater.
Yeah.
And they suspected that the fire got through that thing. They didn't know.
Huh.
There was a crack in it, and
Yeah.
it had to get through that
Uh-huh.
crack.
Yeah, it burned up the smokehouse, the garage, the pump house, the chicken house, and of course burned all the house up. Everything. I mean, they lost everything. Burnt the pump up. They had an electric pump. Burnt the pump up, and they'll give them another electric pump. We got it carried up there for them. And so this guy, well, the Baileys is still there in Coffeyville. The grandchildren and everything. I finished school with one of them's mother. And this guy that owned this furniture and hardware store and everything, he was a good friend of my daddy's, and his brother was representative. So his brother would come out the house all the time and go hunting there on the land. Well, he was just as nice and good as he could be, but his brother was a stinker. So his brother that owned this, well, it was just the Bailey's store, all of them owned it together. Well, he came out to see Daddy, and he told Daddy, said, now, I'm head of the chapter of the Red Cross for this district or something. And said, I talked to them and said, they'll give you $50 to replace something in your house. But that said, I'll tell you, I got it with the understanding that you were to spend that at my store. Daddy looked at Russell. He said, Russell, said, nobody has ever helped me. And said, I've made it myself. all these years, and said $50 wouldn't much more than buy a mattress. And said, you take that $50 and give it to somebody that needs it worse than I do. Well, the next year we had all this flood there, the Yellow Bushy River and everything flood.
Yeah.
Well, there was a Miss Miles that lived there in town. And the water got up in her house. They said about 10 or 12 inches, and then it runned around one of the rooms or something. And he got her $250, which wasn't much. But Daddy wouldn't take that $50. He said $50 wasn't a drop in the bucket.
Uh-huh. Huh.
So he had always made it himself.
Now, he didn't ask nobody for nothing.
No, he
I
didn't.
guarantee you he didn't.
He didn't. The year that Ann was born, Daddy and some of the workers was out at the barn, well, they had been out there working, building some sheds out at the hog pen, and they left a nail there, and Daddy stepped on that nail, and it came up through his foot. Well, Mother got him to the doctor because it's for a tetanus shot. We had a reaction from it, and so then later, well, the place where they stuck the nail began to drip blood.
Yeah.
So he went to the doctor, and the doctor sent him to Dr. Calvin's clinic in Memphis. And they found out that the nail had cut a piece of the bone, fractured the bone here, and it was working out some way or another. Well, they took his cut from here back to here and just left him a little bitty foot.
Mm.
Well, 4 or 5 years later, it began to bleed again. So they took his leg off right here and got an artificial leg. And there was a big write-up in the paper about how Daddy had struggled and made it all his own, made it with us 6 children and everything, had us all in school, and I don't know what all that was about. But Daddy would ride just as far as he could in the pickup, and then he'd catch a horse. We had 7, 8 brood mares that raced.